but it's now worth over $22 million. Even after closing out some of his earlier positions and taking...
Oh man. Has a potential candidate to be my favorite video of the year, and it just started. Nice.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy JumboJandro, back at it again with another video. Today, got a little reaction to the GameStop Infinite Money Glitch explained, because GameStop been going a little crazy recently. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, my mic sounds better, and hopefully, my mic doesn't lag this time. But let's go.
What's up, you Graham? It's Guys here, and today we got to talk about one of the most requested, most mind-boggling topics of investing insanity that I have ever seen that's happening right now and causing some people to make millions of dollars in the process, and that would be GameStop. That's right, the same company who would give you pennies of store credit for your brand new trade-ins has now become the hottest moneymaker of 2021, all thanks to a fundamental shortcoming that was discovered by a user of Reddit's Wall
Facts, bro. Wall Street Bets going crazy, though, no cap.
Street Bets not too long ago. And now they say the current market conditions have set the stock up on a trajectory to continue plowing higher and higher, almost becoming like an infinite money glitch, as short sellers have to buy in to cover their losses, which causes stock price to rise high.
Look at that. 92% in 6 months. Like, it literally went from
which causes more people to buy in to cover their losses,
to
and
40 and 140
until...
cents. I think it's at like 300 right now. Like, they even had to, like, the US had to tell people to stop buying. Like, they placed a ban on it or something, and it just plummeted. Like, it's at 300 and something right now.
Moon. So in a remarkable, maybe once-in-a-lifetime event that's showing up on the front page of every major news outlet in existence, let's cover exactly what's going on, how some people are making so much money, how this is even allowed to happen to begin with, and what this means for you, whether you're just curious how this works, or if you've been seeing this mentioned everywhere and you want to know if it's too late to invest your money and print tendies. But before I go into all of the tantalizing money printing details, I need you to do a quick favor for me and diamond hand that like button for the YouTube algorithm. That's right, every like on this video directly supports the families of short positions, even though they had to lose money. Just kidding, it doesn't do that at all, but it's totally free, it helps me out, and thank you so much. Oh, and also, full disclosure here, but don't do anything I'm talking about in this video. It's incredibly risky. I am just a guy on YouTube making videos from a spare bedroom. You should not listen to me. And you should always do your own research, because this is all for entertainment purposes only, and none of this should be investing advice. So now that I've cleared up that confusion on what not to do, let's begin the video here. Alright, so first, GameStop. I pretty much guarantee we all remember at some point walking through a mall or an outdated outlet center and passing by a store with the unmistakable big, bold, white and red words, GameStop. Like the name would suggest, this is a retail gaming shop that sold video games, consoles, controllers, and collectibles. They would take trade-ins while driving a harder bargain than Rick from Pawn Stars. And more recently, they began offering subscription services where you could rent games for a fixed price
They got his ass.
per month. But as the overall video game market began outgrowing the store, and more people resorted to online downloads versus shopping in person at an outdated mall with nothing left than a Nordstrom's, GameStop was beginning to be left behind, much like the greats of Toys R Us and Blockbuster. But one investor, despite all of this, decided to step up to the plate on Reddit's Wall Street Bets to begin turning things around. Now, some people say this person is a genius, and other people think he's crazy, but I personally think he's a crazy genius who also happened to be very lucky. And this is where the story starts getting
There was a lot of luck involved, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really good. Unfortunately, I can't say the full username here without getting demonetized on YouTube, but DFV, as I'll refer to him, invested $50,000 into GameStop call options in September of 2019 as the company's stock price plummeted to its lowest level in history. However, he
$50,000.
felt the company was fundamentally undervalued. Not even a few months later, the famed investor Michael Burry announced his optimistic position in the company for one simple reason: discs. See, even though it's easy to look at a company like this and think, oh, they're just going to be going out of business any year now, it's just a matter of time, Michael Burry felt like this negative sentiment wasn't deserved, because both Microsoft and Sony were releasing their next generation game consoles, which would have discs for people who wanted to buy a physical copy. Michael Burry believed that this would would extend the price of GameStop and their stock price, which at the time was trading between $3 and $4 a share. Well, that was all back in late 2019, and our Reddit user DFV has been holding ever since, despite constant replies telling him he's an idiot and should get out ASAP. In fact, he just kept buying more, even through the shutdowns, the GameStop controversies, refusing to close stores, and
Wait, I did not know it was that long ago that this stuff happened. Yeah, that is crazy.
horrible earnings. He just had diamond hands and kept doubling down. At that point, he posted a screenshot on Reddit of his investment where he was down $34,000. But now, this is where things get interesting, as though it wasn't already interesting, but this is where it starts to piece together. In June of 2020, GameStop announced that they saw a 519% jump in online sales when they were forced to shut down their physical locations. In August of 2020, the billionaire co-founder of Chewy.com announced that he bought a 9% stake in the company and plans to turn it into an Amazon rival through his active involvement
Yo, this is just like it's all just compounding. Now it's kind of making sense to me why it happened like at this point. You know what I'm saying?
and remanagement of the company. After that, they announced a multi-year strategic partnership with Microsoft, which plans to expand both their physical store and their digital store. Sure enough, digital sales increased, and the Chewy.com co-founder increased his stake in GameStop to now 13%. And that's when, about 4 months ago, users of Reddit's Wall Street Bets discovered a very little secret about the stock that would cause it to skyrocket exponentially just given the right conditions. And sure enough, he was right, and everything he said would happen has now come true. He explained that GameStop was one of the most shorted stocks in the stock market, with almost 90% of the stockholders believing the stock price will go down. In
90? Holy shit.
fact, it was so shorted that more shares were shorted than actually exist in the market for sale. So that's turning out to be the perfect storm to cause this stock to skyrocket exponentially as soon as any good news comes out. See, this is what's known as a short squeeze, and here's how that works. When you think the price of a stock is going to be going down, you could choose to short that stock. Now, because it's kind of complicated to explain, I've made this really fancy Photoshop so I could explain exactly what's going on. When you short a stock, you first borrow that stock from somebody else at a preset price with the intent.
Yeah, short selling is like very, very mentally demanding. Like it's a complicated process, but like it's interesting.
Intention of eventually returning that stock to the person at some point in the future. Next, once you borrow those stocks, you could resell them immediately to somebody else and you get to hold on to that money. But since you owe that first person their stocks back, that money you get isn't all profit. If the price of the stock you borrowed and sold goes down, which is what you wanted, you could buy them back at a cheaper price, return the stocks back to the first person who you borrowed them from, and then the difference you have left over is your profit. However, the danger is that if the stock price goes up,
Yeah, then you lose money.
you will be forced to buy back the stocks at a higher price, and when that happens, you'll lose money when eventually you have to return those stocks.
And that means that they have to buy in order to recover those losses. And so that just keeps the stock price going up and up. And going up. 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 I know I was looking over. That's what's up. Okay.
Now, doing this is incredibly risky because when you go and buy a stock like normal, the downside is really going to be limited to the amount you buy in. So, for example, if you buy a $10 stock, the most you could lose is that original $10.
That's crazy.
But if you short a $10 stock and it goes to $100, then all of a sudden you're losing $90 for every $10 you're investing in.
My boy Grant got the best explanations out here. Damn, bro.
And by shorting a stock, your losses could theoretically just be infinite, and that is where GameStop comes in. This Reddit user who posted here theorized that because so many people were short on GameStop, thinking that the price of the stock was going to be going down, eventually all this good news is going to cause these short sellers to exit their positions, forcing them to buy back those shares at a higher price, and when that happens, the price of the stock goes up, and when that happens, more people close out their positions by buying back shares at a higher price, and that continues until the price of GameStop
Yeah, I just realized my boy Caillou saying LOL wrecked, bro. I like it.
goes to the moon, and Reddit users buy Lamborghinis. But this is
Yo, apparently some dude put 20,000 into it and he got $1 million back. Like, it's changing people's lives out here.
Not any old short selling activity. Oh no, this is the perfect storm of short selling. Remember how I told you that almost 90% of all GameStop stocks are shorted? And there are more shares shorted than actually exist on the market? Well, yeah, you're gonna wanna hear this. When the price of a stock goes up and short sellers wanna get out, they actually have to go and buy that underlying stock so they could give it back to the person they borrowed it from. But what happens when more shares are shorted than actually exist on the market for sale? Well, then they have to offer more money to buy someone else's stock. And if no one wants to sell their stock, then the price just keeps rising exponentially until eventually someone raises their hand and says,
Okay, fine. You know what? I don't really want to sell my stock, but I will if you give me $1,000.
well, at some point, they're just going to need to pay that price, and that's kind of what's going on here. See, Reddit's Wall Street Bets saw the writing on the wall, and they all collectively said,
if we all buy call options on GameStop, which is an option to purchase 100 contracts at a specific price at a specific point in the future, that's going to cause the brokerage to actually go and buy those 100 underlying shares of the company, further driving up the price. And that's going to cause all the short sellers to have to sell. But since we're buying all of these stocks and we're not selling them, the short sellers are going to have to offer us way more money if they want to exit their positions, and that in turn is going to make us all very rich.
and guess what? Since there's been more news about GameStop going up in value, that's caused more retail investors to pile into the stock, driving up the price and making it very
Bro, it went all the way to Pluto, bro. It literally went all the way to Pluto.
difficult for short sellers to find people who actually want to sell their stock. Because those buyers know that the longer they hold out for, the more money short sellers will have to pay and the more money they will make. And then, of course, you throw in Elon Musk tweeting about it, and yeah, here's where we are now. Literally right now, as you're watching this video, there's a tug of war going on between institutional investors who are shorting the stock and Reddit's Wall Street Bets. Reddit's Wall Street Bets has single-handedly banded together to buy up as many GameStop call options as possible, further driving up the price and causing short sellers to lose a lot of money, and it worked. Large institutional investors have lost tens of millions of dollars, and the little guy who decided to take a chance on GameStop is now raking in money. Or really, in more simple terms, just think of it like this. Imagine that Thanksgiving is coming up next week in a really wealthy town where turkeys normally sell for $30 each, and one family in particular promised to host the biggest Thanksgiving feast of all time, no matter what. Well, you know this in advance, so you coordinate to buy up all the turkeys so that there are no more left by the time the family wants to buy one. When this family starts to panic about no more turkeys being left, you come out of the internet and say, well, I have plenty of turkeys for sale, but it's going to cost you $1,000. Otherwise, you're not going to have your dinner. Sure enough, the family would pay the $1,000, even though the turkey is not worth it, just because they promised that they would host the biggest Thanksgiving feast of all time, and they have to buy it. That's what happened here, but instead of a wealthy family, we have institutional investors, and instead of a turkey, we have GameStop. Oh, and remember the Reddit user who invested $50,000 into GameStop in 2009?
Dude, he's definitely a millionaire, bro.
Recording this after hours, but it's now worth over $22 million. Even after closing out some of his earlier positions and taking some profit. Now, as far as where this
$22 million. And that wasn't even the peak. Like, he dropped this yesterday. And it was like 150 at this point. No, he definitely recorded beforehand, but it was like at 150 at this point, and yeah, that's actually insane. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's continue the video.
goes from here, it's really anybody's guess. People have been posting heavily researched articles with price targets anywhere from $100 to $1,000 a share or higher. And I guess theoretically, anything is possible. If enough people
Earlier today, it almost hit 500. It almost hit 500 today.
people refuse to sell, in the right conditions, it could go to $1,000 before then crashing back down. But this is 100% a game of musical chairs, and most likely 90% of investors are going to lose money on this big time. At this point, it has nothing to do with the fundamentals of the company at all, but it does have to do with a very unique situation of a limited quantity of shares available, combined with an insane amount of short interest, combined with Wall Street bets coordinating to purchase call options, driving up the price of the stock, which causes more people to pile in, and it's a perfect storm when those people refuse to sell what they just bought. The difficult part of this just becomes how soon do you get out and when does this reach the top? Is that going to be $250, $500, $1,000, or $1,200 or even higher? Nobody knows. And realistically, if we knew, for example, the peak was going to be, let's say, $1,000, you would have someone else selling at $990, which means someone else would sell at $980, which means someone would sell at $970, and then one person would just undercut the other, who undercuts the other before there's nothing left. This is
That was a trippy animation. But yeah, basically, it would hit a peak and then just plummet. Because you can't hold that stuff long term. Especially with, like, because it's so risky that, like, if you were to hold it past the peak, you're losing money. Like, you're guaranteed.
probably one of the riskiest, most speculative bets I have ever talked about here in the channel. So as my word of caution here, don't do it. But that doesn't mean this has not been profitable, and this could very well just be the beginning of this stock continuing to move even higher. But really, everything you're seeing right now is just a wild guess, and it could just as well go down as it could go back up. More importantly, though, this does represent a big shift of power away from large corporate institutional investors and into the hands of retail traders and groups like Wall Street Bets, who do have the power to move markets and build demand. I honestly believe the power of retail traders has been grossly underestimated for quite some time. And this is a good example that a group like Wall Street Bets should not be taken lightly. But do not kid yourself into thinking that this is a foolproof way to make money. Just like some people have become overnight multimillionaires, someone else is going to be left holding the bag, losing a lot of money. I have no clue when that point might be. Maybe this goes up another 500%, or maybe it doesn't. Some people want to hold out for that magic $1,000 mark. And hey, you know what? Maybe that's possible. I would love to see this go to $1,000 because I find it so entertaining to watch and just see what happens.
I agree, bro. Literally, when like the first time I found out about this, my friend called me. He was like, "Yo, it hit $100," and I'm like, "Bro, you have to be joking." He's like, "Yeah, there's like," he explained to me the whole situation. I think it was this Wednesday that he told me, and I was like, "No way!" Literally, I could not stop laughing the whole day about the situation because it was just so funny to me how like this little group could literally bring up the stock price of a company that high. Like, I bet you the people of GameStop right now are living in heaven, bro. Like, they were going down. They were going down, but actually, they made some moves. Now that I see it, like, I thought they were gonna keep going down, but like, now they're living in the skies, bro. They could get themselves a multi-million-dollar mansion. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was really entertaining to see, especially because I mean I didn't put any money into it because yet again it was so risky, but it's cool to see.
But whether or not that becomes a reality is just anybody's guess. I would say the big takeaway here is just this. Investor behavior is the driving force of the market right now. Fundamentally, GameStop is not worth this price. But that doesn't mean this specific situation can't cause it to rise even higher. And guaranteed, this event is going to cause a lot more institutional money to pay very close attention to what's being said and what's going on communities like Reddit's Wall Street Bets. And most likely, they're going to be using all sorts of trading algorithms to comb through all the data that's being posted on these sites and placing their trades accordingly. This is going to create a brand new type of investor who's not swing trading, who's not buying on fundamentals, who doesn't care what the company is or how well that company's doing. They're going to trade based on hype, behavior, and trend. Just knowing that
Yeah, this man said hype, bro.
if they could catch the next GameStop or Palantir early enough, they're going to make a lot of money. And I think they're also going to take websites like Reddit's Wall Street Bets very seriously because that's where a lot of these trends might begin, even though it's incredibly risky and I don't endorse it. But don't fool yourself into thinking that this is a guaranteed way to make money because I can assure you it is not. But thankfully, there is a guaranteed way of making money, and that would be
He's gonna say the 4 free stocks. Press me.
Using the link down below in the description, because Webull is going to be giving you 4 free stocks when you deposit $100 in the platform, and those stocks could potentially be worth all the way up to $1,600. And that is pretty much like guaranteed free money with a $100 deposit. The minimum value of those stocks is about $18 to $20 or so. So if you want free money, use the link down below
It's literally free money though.
in the description and enjoy your free stocks. So with that button and
Okay, that's the whole situation, bro. Honestly, it's kind of crazy to me. Like, it's so crazy. Like, it feels so unreal how this all happened. It's also interesting to see how the government is reacting to it, and like how brokerage companies, the people that actually buy the stock, or like the people that make or that you use to buy the stocks, like the medium to buy stocks, how like they're reacting to it, how like they're kind of placing a ban on people buying it. They were also supposed to do it to AMC, BlackBerry, and Nokia, and then maybe another one that I'm missing. But yeah, I actually looked at it and it dropped so much. I think yesterday it was at $16. You know, AMC yesterday was at like $16, and today it dropped down to like 7. Like they really did place a big ban on that. Hold on, let me check. It was at 10 yesterday. Yeah, never mind. It was at 10 yesterday, but it dropped down all the way to 8, pretty much 7, which is interesting to see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the whole situation down in the comments, because this is pretty interesting. But hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like and sub, the usual, and I'm out of here. Oh wait, also I got a Twitch. Check down link down in the description. I'm gonna be streaming some Rocket League, some Minecraft. We'll see. JumboJandro is out of here. Oh my chicken.
Yo,
Red, bro. What, bro?
This nigga is wild. If you drink 2 5-hour energies, how much energy do you have?
13, nigga. What?
13?
Questions.
How do you get 2 and 5 and 13, bro? 2 plus 5 is 7.
Bro, what
you
the
get
fuck?
7. You get 7 energies.
Bro, listen to the question, bro. He asked about 2 5-hour energies. You gotta think about that. That's what he's trying to trick you at, bro. 2 5-hour energies, they weigh 10 ounces apiece. That means you can have 13 hours of energy throughout the day, you stupid ass dummy. Go to gym class, nigga.
Bro, how can you, what are you talking about? How can you drink energy anyway, bro? Energy is in the air coming from photosynthesis and precipitation.
Bro,
what are you talking about? Gym class and stuff, bro?
Nigga, energy is on the fucking earth, nigga. I should knock you the fuck out. Nigga, go to fucking class next time, nigga. Fucking stupid, boy.
Nigga wildin', bro. It's all precipitation. You talking about gym class and stuff, bro.